What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the video. My name is Dave Reed, and today we're going to be doing a simple Destruction Warlock DPS guide for Season of Discovery Phase 3. Now, if you're new to my videos and new to my simple guides, the point of these simple guides is to be, well, simple and straight to the point, no fluff, no extra information you don't need. You're looking for something that's going to be quick and easy and not going to, fill up your head with useless information. And that is what I'm trying to do here today. I go over 4 major points, which are talking about the runes that you need, the talents that you should run, as well as stat priority and your main abilities in your rotation. So if you're somebody who is either new to a character, new to Classic, or maybe you're playing, you're on your 3rd ult and you just need the information that's important to you, this is the place to be. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all of the support on the channel. All the likes and comments and all the new subscribers to the channel has been awesome and has been a crazy experience for me. So I really do appreciate all of the support to the channel, and I hope that if you're new to the channel, you decide to subscribe and give me a chance, and that'd be awesome. So again, thank you so much for all of the past support, and I hope that continues. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. First things first, we're going to be going over is our runes. Now, all the runes you see here, with the exception of the head rune, is the best in slot. So when it comes to our head rune, the best in slot rune is actually Backdraft. I'll put up on the screen for you guys, but just reading the description, it says your conflagrate ability also grants 30% spellcasting haste for 10 seconds. Pandemic is a solid number 2. It makes it to where your immolate and corruption and some other abilities here can now crit. So it's a good number 2, but Backdraft really is your number 1 best in slot for your head slot for destro locks. Then jumping into your chest rune, Demonic Tactics increases the melee and spell crit of you and your pet by 10%. And then we have Grimoire Synergy. It's kind of a word salad, but it's basically a damage increase, just increase the damage for you and your pet. Then next we get for our leg rune, we're going to be running Incinerate. For our feet, we're going to be running our Demonic Knowledge. This increases your spell damage and healing by the value equal to 10% of your demon pet's total stamina plus intellect. Then we have Immolation Aura. Now this is very similar to like Paladin auras, where you have to like click it on and off, and it's like you either click it on and it's permanently on, or you click it off. So you got to make sure you kind of pay attention to when you have it on and off. But when you have it turned on, it burns nearby enemies for 24 damage every 2 seconds, and reduces all magic damage taken by 10%, lasts until canceled. So again, it's very important to make sure you know when to turn it on and off, and because you don't want to accidentally pull something. But it's basically, and it's pretty cool how it works too, because they change the effect of it, where you're basically on fire here. But yeah, it does AoE damage and just periodically keeps ticking. So that's going to be for your wrist. And then hands, we're going to be doing Chaos Bolt. Again, with the exception of this rune here, everything else here is best in slot. Again, your best in slot head rune is your Backdraft. Then going into our talents. So I actually had to do some changes to the talents because I realized that some of these talents didn't really make a whole lot of sense. You'll see a lot of guides. I'll just kind of show you before I get into a tangent, but 9 points into Demonology, nothing into Affliction, and 32 into Destruction. So if you don't want to hear me talk, you can plug these in. I'll let you guys look at that. A lot of guides online, and I've seen for some reason put points into Improved Shadow Bolt. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because you don't really use that ability. Like, you don't use Shadow Bolt. You just mainly use Incinerate. So don't really understand why a lot of guys decide to run Shadow Bolt, because you don't use it in your rotation. I ran Cataclysm instead for the reduced damage, the reduced mana cost of your abilities. But I'm just going to go over quickly what all of the talents do or whatever, and just points and everything. Demonology, I put 3 points into Improved Imp. This increases the effect of your Imp's Firebolt, Fire Shield, and Blood Pact spells by 30%. Then I put 2 points into Demonic Embrace. This increases your total stamina by 6%, but reduces your total spirit by 2%. And then Fell Intellect. So this increases the maximum mana of your demons by 12%. Then going into Destruction, I put 5 points into Cataclysm. This reduces the mana cost of your Destruction spells by 5%. Then I did 5 points into Bane. Reduces the casting time of your Shadow Bolt and Immolate spells by half a second. and your soul fire spell by 2 seconds. Then I did improve firebolt. This put 2 points into that. Reduces the casting time of your Im's firebolt spell by 1 second. Then I put 5 points into devastation. This increases the critical strike chance of your destruction spells by 5%. Then I put 1 point into the ability Shadow Burn. Basically, if you're familiar with destro locks, this is basically an execute button. It costs a soul shard. If the enemy dies within a certain amount of time, I believe it's 5 seconds. If the enemy dies, then you get that soul shard back. Next, putting 2 points into destructive reach. So this increases your range of your destruction spells by 20%. Then I put 5 points into improved immolate. This increases the initial damage of your immolate spell by 25%. Then I put 1 point into ruin. This increases your critical strike damage bonus of your destruction spells by 100%. And then I put 5 points in Ember Storm, increases your damage done by your fire spells by 10%. And the last point goes into Conflagrate. Now, this is very different than how it works in retail. So, ignites the target that is already afflicted by immolate. So in order to use Conflagrate, you need to have immolate already up on the target. When you use Conflagrate, your immolate will disappear. That is what I'm running for my talents. Next, going into our stats. So when it comes to stats, there are 6 stats to worry about, and this is going to be in order from most important to least important. So when it comes to your stats, most important is spell hit, then spell power, crit, intellect, stamina, spirit. I usually have a hard time kind of doing stats now, because I realize that most people are just chasing over like BIS, like you're just going for like best in slot gear. So I guess, stats don't really matter a whole lot, but if you're trying to decide, what piece of gear is better, maybe you're deciding like, looking at your best in slot gear, and you're like, why is this better than this one? This is a good way to determine that. Like right now I'm running more of my main spec, which is tanking. So like I have the full 3 set for Sunken Temple, but the Nightmare set is going to be all stamina and there's no intellect on it, where there's 2 different sets. The other one has it's like less stamina but more intellect, but that's what you want to run for your talents. So one more time: spell hit, spell power, crit, intellect, stamina, and then spirit. And then finally, we're going to get into our main abilities in our rotation. So when it comes to Warlock, Destruction Warlock, pretty basic rotation, to be honest with you, which is kind of nice. But your rotation is going to basically be the buttons that are right here, these big buttons I have on the screen. So basically, you're going to want to make sure you're keeping up your immolate as well as your curse. Now, I think that I personally would choose Curse of Recklessness for your default curse. I would say between Curse of Recklessness and Curse of Elements, it's probably your the best curses to use. I usually say this with my Warlock guides, but especially with it being a 20-man raid, you'll probably have more than one Warlock in your group, and the curse that you use is going to be kind of determined by your group and who's all in it. So like if there's like 4 Warlocks, well, one might run Recklessness, one might run Elements, one might run I'm drawing a blank now. Like one might run Weakness, one might run Agony, or Shadow. It's going to be kind of spread out because they want to try and apply every curse that they can. If you're the only Warlock, by some miracle you're the only Warlock, I would say Recklessness is probably the best one to run. Otherwise, like I said, like Recklessness and Elements are like the 2 curses that I would use. But your rotation is basically making sure you keep up your immolate and your Recklessness, using Chaos Bolt whenever it's available, and using Conflagrate whenever it's available. So, and having your Incinerate as your filler. So, pretty simple rotation. Again, keeping up your immolate and your Recklessness, trying to keep that up as much as you can, and then using your Chaos Bolt and your Conflagrate whenever it's up, whenever the cooldown is up, and then your filler is your Incinerate, and then obviously using Shadow Burn when the enemy is getting low. So whenever the boss starts getting low, you can throw a Shadow Burn out. If you don't care about your soul shards too much, then you can, use this more if you want to. But pretty basic rotation. I mean, you're looking at, really looking at like 2 buttons. I mean, it's keeping up a couple dots, using Conflagrate whenever it's up, and then just spamming Incinerate and Chaos Bolt whenever you can. So, again, it's a pretty basic rotation and pretty easy to do. And that's one of the big reasons why I like playing Destruction Warlock so much, because I've been playing Destro Lock for I don't know how long now, since I started playing the game really, and I do love how simple this rotation is. So that is basically it when it comes to Destro DPS for Season of Discovery. I hope this guide helps you guys out a lot. That is the goal with these guides. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. I try to answer those whenever I have the chance, and if I don't answer it, someone else probably down below will answer it too. That's kind of why I enjoy this community so much, is that people like to help each other out. I appreciate the criticisms and the constructive criticisms and things like that. Again, it's really cool. So I really do appreciate like all the support and all the comments and the conversations that are happening on these videos. So again, I'll try to answer it whenever I can, and if I don't, someone else probably will. But yeah, again, that's basically it when it comes to Destro Lock. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to get the hang of. But again, this is my main. This is my main spec, my main class. So it's pretty easy for me to catch on to. But especially for people who are playing alts, I hope this video helped, because that's really the true test of these guides, is if you play an alt and this helps. But without rambling too much, again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. And thank you for watching, and I hope that you guys decide to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.